So if you didn't know by now, there's been a lot of dudes or young men, older men in general, escaping from prison. So this one guy here did a dramatical thing here and escaped from a Pennsylvania prison. Check this guy out, bro. This is crazy. Would you escape though if you got arrested and got like major time? I don't know if I would. I've gotten time, a lot of time, been on trial and everything, but I never escaped. Have I thought about it while I was locked up? Was I like plotting to escape? I think there was a point in my life where I thought about escaping, but I never did it. But I thought about it. Can I get arrested for that? Anyway, let's get to the situation. Holy snap. Escaped prisoner caught. Oh, he got caught that fast?
Freedom that put a community on lockdown this morning. It happened as he was being taken to the courthouse in Media.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick live now in Media, where this all came to an end today. But what a dramatic couple of hours it was, Annie.
Yeah, Brian, it made for very tense moments in this Media neighborhood. If you know the Media area, it's entirely residential around the courthouse. Behind me is where that inmate was captured. His run was short-lived, only about 2 hours long. Watch as police run down Broomall Street between 4th and 5th Streets in Media as they close in on this escaped prisoner, 22-year-old Taco.
Why the cops look so funny running? They look weird.
Wilson. They successfully took the suspect into custody within 2 hours of his escape. This man happened to be working just a few feet away from the capture.
And I heard somebody jump over the fence, and then there was all of a sudden there was 15, 20 cops right there, and they were all shouting, you know, get on the ground, all that good stuff. There was no resistance, nothing like that, and they caught the guy. 10 seconds, it was over.
It was like, get on the ground or I'll blow your fucking head off. Like, say it the way it went down, bro. You know, he like held back his voice for a second when he was explaining what happened. But you know, they was like, put your hand, what? Boy, they told that boy everything right there, right? They're not going to be nice about it. Like, you're under arrest for escaping.
The response was tremendous, as Jerry pointed out. We had local law enforcement from every agency in this region and our U.S. Marshals and the FBI.
He was brought in for a court hearing. He has an extended, lengthy criminal record.
Officials said today that the escape is under investigation and the suspect will face charges, but they would not release details of how he was able to flee.
I could tell you how he was able to flee. I could just imagine. He's skinny. He's so skinny. He fit through anything, bro. He fit through any little crack. Pop. And he's out of there. He's skinny, right? I would think the only way that was hard, the hardest people, what makes it the hardest for someone to escape is you being fat, respectfully. He was skinny.
Sources tell Action News he bolted around 8:30 in the morning when he was transported from George Hill Correctional Facility wearing restraints, but he was able to break free of them. When the transport vehicle pulled up to the courthouse, he bolted. The restraints were recovered during their search for him. Court records show he was supposed to have a jury trial this week. His original charges from 2023 were out of Tinicum Township for fleeing and eluding police, receiving stolen property, and driving offenses.
Not for nothing, bro. He had the pettiest of crimes. Compared to the crimes, I live in New York City, Brooklyn. I used to live on Southside Jamaica, Harlem, and so forth, but this is where I'm living at right now, right? Anyway, bro, it's just weird, bro. These people are weird, bro. I wouldn't escape with them charges, bro. And then when I see these things and it's happening in 2025, bro, like, bro, you serious? You still escaping from prison after all these escapes of people getting caught? Like, what are you going to do once you escape? Now what? Nobody wants to deal with you in the street once they know, yo, you know homeboy, your boy, what? He escaped from a prison. He's all over the news. You're going to hang out with him? Come on, bro. Be realistic. You're going to hold him down? You know you're going to do the same amount of time he is once he gets caught and you get caught up with him. Facts. So you're going to be like, yo, I'm out of here. Because if he talks to you, He can't let nobody know he was talking to you. And normally when these dudes get caught, I'm telling you, I've been in prison my whole life, bro. Once these people get caught, the first thing they doing is volunteering information. So-and-so helped me escape. This dude helped me escape. They tell him, bro, I promise you.
Now, there was no interruption to court at the media courthouse today. It went on as normal even during the search. We also asked if there was going to be any changes today in light of what happened to prisoner transport. They said today that prisoner transports were going on as normal. For now, reporting live in media.
Yeah, they're going on as normal. But his life ain't normal. He's going down, 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 down. Facts. So you know what I find real funny? Not funny, but I found it kind of cool that at least he went to the hood. That's where I used to live at, right there where Queens Flip is at with them dudes right there. Right, that brown door, remember I say is always the only house. And then I recorded like me at McDonald's, Wendy's and all that. That's my block, 161. Facts. That house right there on the top, pop, that's where I lived at for years. That's Jamaica in Queens. Facts. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, but I lived there also. That was one of my apartments. And I found it so weird. Yo, a shout out to whoever has that apartment right now. But you know what's sad? I seen the same curtains. Yo, you gotta change them curtains, bro. I know we left them kind of new, but the same burgundy curtains were all over that window, bro. Let me see if I find a place where it's clearer, where you can see the burgundy at. Facts. That's my building. That's a lot of things went down on that block with me. Facts. Oh, so they cleaning up? Yeah, that part is always dirty, bro. It wasn't always that dirty when I lived there, but it was dirty. But damn, y'all got it popping dirty. Jesus. So you see that little window is like one window and then the second window, but the first window. Oh, not the first window. Is it? Yeah. That same window right there. It is that same window right there. That's where I used to stand at and smoke and throw the cigarettes pop out the right there to that backyard type situation. But I was standing in that hallway looking right out that window, smoking all my cigarettes. Facts. Instead of coming down and going outside. For no reason when I just got up or whatever, right? But facts, I lived there for years. For years. I recorded a lot of videos in that house. In fact, this is one of the videos in that house. I think I'm in that hallway too. But shout out to my dude, the bro that lived there, Trouble. Facts. So that block is a lot, it's Blood City, right? But there's also the king that I met that's in my videos, I met him hanging out with them. Probably not with them per se, but with the Bloods on that block. Facts. But hold on, let me see if I find this. But you see how I was talking about the McDonald's being on that block and the Wendy's is on the corner? That's the only building house on that block. That's why when I tell you on certain videos, I lived on the only house on 161. Facts. There's other apartments there, like that building right there, but it's normally like they use it like for offices, whatever business you're running and things like that. And then there's like, I don't know if they Mexican or what, but they right like where that lady. Oh, you guys can't see it because that part is cut off. My bad. But it's across the street from McDonald's, right on this side where Queens Flips head is at. Facts. So I don't know if you can see from here. You see them burgundy curtains on them windows, right? Those burgundy curtains, I left those there. Facts. And those burgundy curtains are still on that apartment. Facts. And I saw it on this video, but I haven't been there like in 2 or 3 months. But even when I went through there, they were there, right? But it's just crazy. Oh, unless they bought the same burgundy curtains. But I really much doubt it, bro. Because ever since we moved from there, our curtains have been there. Facts. But shout out to Southside Jamaica. I promise you, that's where I used to live at, bro. Recently, that was my last. I had that apartment, and we had this house all the time together. And another house out there. But that's where I was staying at, one of the spots where I was staying at. Facts. And my shorty, my wifey, was working right there on the cashier. Facts. She was working at the cashier right in front of my guy right here. But stay tuned on the lockout.